She told me she needed space. I gave her silence, room, patience. She filled it with him. The shirt in her dryer wasn't mine. And it wasn't Eliza's boyfriend's either. Our daughter had moved out 2 months ago. She left behind a single hoodie, a pink mug, and, apparently, the last version of our family. We'd been married 22 years. My name is Mark. I'm 48. Sales director at a logistics company I don't love but don't hate enough to leave. Jessica, my wife, is 46. Therapist. Specializes in grief, trauma, and relationships. Irony if you're into that. Our daughter Eliza is 19. University. Smarter than me and she knows it. We used to be close. She stopped calling me Dad the moment I started asking questions. We had the kind of life that fools everyone, including ourselves. Suburban house, tasteful garden, wine rack always half full. 2 vacations a year. 1 domestic, 1 international. I called it tradition. She called it structure. Same difference. Keeps people from looking too closely. I used to think stability was love. Now I know better. Stability is what you settle for when you stop asking what the hell is going on. We met at a bookstore of all places. I was hunting for a last-minute birthday present for my sister. Jessica was in the psychology aisle. She caught me staring at her book cover. She said, "You look like a man who needs answers." I told her I was just looking for a gift. She smiled and said, "Aren't we all?" We had coffee that day. She told me about childhood trauma like it was small talk. I found that attractive back then. Vulnerability. Honesty. Depth. Or maybe I was just desperate for someone who didn't fake everything with a joke. 3 months later, we moved in. 18 months after that, Eliza arrived. We called her our anchor. In reality, she was the chain that kept us pretending. For years, things worked. Or looked like they did. I brought home a steady paycheck. She brought home stories of broken people learning to love again. Dinner at 7. TV at 9. Sex on Fridays if we remembered. I thought routine meant loyalty. Now I see it meant hiding. The first cracks weren't loud. They were the kind you step over and tell yourself, normal. Happens to everyone. She started working later. Emergency sessions, she said. Always some client on the verge of relapse. She'd come home smelling like mint and cologne, not our soap. She started showering before saying hello. Started leaving her phone face down. Started locking the screen after every text. I asked once casually, "Everything okay?" She blinked like I'd interrupted a scene. Said, "Just tired. Long week." That phrase, "just tired," is where marriages go to die. It's the excuse that doesn't invite questions. It's a wall disguised as honesty. The night that changed everything wasn't dramatic. No screaming. No tears. Just silence. And one detail too small to ignore. I'd come home early. Jessica wasn't home yet. She'd texted back late. Crisis. I passed her clinic on my way. Lights off. Closed. I waited. She came home at 9:12 p.m. Different lipstick. Light makeup but fresh. Not 12-hour-old office face. I asked nothing. She said, "You're up late." I nodded. She went to change. Her phone buzzed. Once. Then again. I glanced at the screen. A name I didn't recognize, E. That night, while she slept, I opened her purse. Not out of paranoia. Out of necessity. There was nothing. No perfume bottle. No receipt. No message. Except one crumpled parking stub. Apartment complex downtown. Timestamped at 7:36 p.m. Midtown. Short-term rentals. I Googled the address. Clicked Street View. Pool. Gym. Monthly specials. Perfect place to play house. I didn't accuse her. What do you say? Hey, did you forget to throw away your alibi? Instead, I started watching more. Observing like she teaches her clients. Notice. Don't judge. She changed her ringtone. Changed her habits. Changed the Wi-Fi password. She changed us. Only I hadn't realized I'd expired. One morning I reached for her. She flinched. Said, "I'm not in the mood." Then turned away. She used to fall asleep on my chest. Now she curled toward the wall. And still, I told myself, maybe it's hormones. Stress. Age. Men like me don't go looking for infidelity. We stumble into it. And then pretend the fall was a choice. The moment I knew was silent. I was doing laundry. Saturday morning. She was at yoga. I pulled a navy blue t-shirt from the dryer. Not mine. Not Eliza's. Too small. Wrong fabric. Cheap. It smelled like her shampoo. I held it like evidence. Like a confession sewn in cotton. She walked in. Froze. I said, "This yours?" She glanced. Too quickly. Eliza's boyfriend probably left it. She forgot Eliza moved out. She forgot Eliza broke up with him 3 months ago. She forgot I wasn't an idiot. That night, I lay in bed next to her. She scrolled through her phone. I stared at the ceiling. She laughed at something on her screen. Didn't show me. Didn't offer. I could hear the vibration of messages every few minutes. I counted them like steps at the edge of a cliff. I didn't ask who it was. I already knew. It wasn't the t-shirt. It wasn't the parking stub. It wasn't the new lingerie she started wearing without explanation. It was her silence. The kind that grows roots. The kind that dares you to ask, "Are we still a we?" The next day, I took a detour from work. Parked across the street from the Midtown apartment complex. I waited. At 7:51 p.m. she appeared. Hair loose. Fresh blouse. Carrying Thai takeout. Behind her him. 30-something. Gym body. Confident. Wore that same cheap brand shirt. They didn't touch much. She kissed him on the cheek. But that was enough. She looked happy. And I realized, that's a look she hasn't given me in 4 years. I didn't ask questions. I didn't scream. I didn't confront her when I saw her kiss him. I just drove home, washed my hands, and made tea. She came in an hour later, hair damp from a shower I didn't witness. Said she had a rough session. I nodded. "You want some tea?" She said no. That night, I didn't sleep. She did. Peacefully. Her phone buzzed at 2:14 a.m. I didn't check it. I didn't have to. The day after, I started saving things. Not for revenge. For clarity. First, the digital trail. I'm not tech-savvy, but I know where people get lazy. Cloud backups. Autosyncs. Shared devices. Eliza's old iPad was still logged into Jessica's Apple account. Just sitting in her closet. I charged it. Waited. When the home screen lit up, it was all there. Messages. Notes. Calendar entries. The texts were clinical. That's what struck me. She didn't talk to him like a lover. She talked to him like a project. Complimented his growth. Gave him advice. Scheduled him like a patient. But then there were photos. His couch. Their takeout. Her legs. Under one picture, he wrote, "Can't believe you still go home after this." She replied, "I have to. For now." I took screenshots. Not out of panic. Just instinct. When someone starts rewriting your life, you learn to keep receipts. The second clue was smell. She started using a new body wash. One I didn't buy. I asked casually, "New scent?" She said, "Just needed a change." I asked, "You sure it wasn't someone else's?" She paused. Just a second. Then she smiled. "What's that supposed to mean?" I laughed it off. "Nothing." But that pause. That pause was the loudest answer I'd ever heard. Next came the passwords. She changed them all. But not her laptop's autofill. One night, she left the room to take a call. I opened her browser. Chrome remembered everything. I didn't snoop. I read. Google Maps history. Directions to the apartment. Hotel booking once, 3 months ago. Downtown. 2 nights. Amazon orders. Men's cologne. Twice. A journal titled Recovering Intimacy. Then a playlist called Safe Space. I clicked. Acoustic songs. Songs we never listened to. Songs from artists I'd never heard her mention. Love songs. Breakup songs. Hopeful, mournful songs. And one of them had a shared note. "I played this while waiting for you." I started saving everything. Not because I needed proof, because I needed an anchor. Because when your world turns into fog, cold facts are the only thing left to hold. I set up a separate drive. Created folders. Photos. Texts. Recordings. I didn't listen to most of them. Just labeled and stored. Like collecting evidence for a trial I wasn't sure would ever happen. Then came the surveillance. I followed her once. Thursday night. She said she had a client relapse. I trailed her at a distance. She went straight to the Midtown apartment. Walked in with a bottle of wine. Didn't come out for 3 hours. I took a picture. Didn't need to. But I did. 3 days later, she said she wanted a weekend alone. Said she needed clarity. I offered to take Eliza out of town. She smiled, grateful in a way that disgusted me. That weekend, I checked the shared calendar. There was an event labeled Reset. No location. Just the word. Reset. I took Eliza to see her grandparents. We ate pancakes, watched old movies. She was distant. I asked if everything was okay. She shrugged. "You and Mom are weird lately." I said, "She's been busy." Eliza looked away. Yeah. Real busy. Then she said something that scratched my ribs raw. Maybe just let her be happy, Dad. I didn't respond. She looked back at the TV. Like she hadn't just impaled me. Back home, Sunday night, Jessica was glowing. Wore a loose shirt that wasn't mine. Made dinner. Told stories. Laughed like a woman unburdened. I watched her mouth move and wondered. Does he kiss her after she lies to me? Or before? The next week, I printed photos. Copies. USB backups. One night, she left her phone unattended while showering. I recorded the screen with my own. Just enough to capture their last conversation. Can't stop thinking about you. Miss your mouth. Soon, I promise. Just a little longer. You're all I want. Then wait. I deleted nothing. I added it all to the drive. The worst came a few days later. I was in the kitchen. Eliza walked in, grabbed juice, didn't look at me. I asked, "You talked to your mom lately?" She nodded. "Yeah, yesterday." I asked, "She say anything unusual?" She hesitated. "What do you mean?" I shrugged. "About us." She exhaled. "She's just tired. You make her feel small sometimes." I stared at her. "I make her feel small?" She said you stopped seeing her. Like, as a woman. I was quiet. Then Eliza said it. The sentence that shattered something irreversible. Maybe if you tried harder, she wouldn't have had to look elsewhere. I didn't speak. Just watched my daughter drink juice in a kitchen I paid for, defending the woman who betrayed us both. That night, Jessica came home late. I asked, "Who's he?" She blinked. Said, "Why?" "Just curious." She didn't answer. Then, for the first time, she said it aloud. "I just need space, Mark. Real space." I asked, "Are you sleeping with someone else?" She didn't lie. She just said nothing. That was worse. I didn't sleep the night she said she needed space. Not because of grief. That part had passed. I was planning. There's a moment when betrayal stops hurting and starts crystallizing into clarity. It's the moment you stop asking why and start preparing how. I started with the bank statements. Our accounts had always been joint, though she hadn't contributed in years. First thing I did, opened a new account in my name only. Redirected my salary. Changed every password. I left hers untouched. Let her think the mask still held. Next was the lawyer. He was a quiet man in his 60s with a background in corporate law and 3 divorces behind him. Didn't ask questions. Just listened. I handed him a folder labeled Jessica. Inside, printouts of messages, location pings, receipts, time-stamped photos. He flipped through them like weather reports. Said, "You'll want to get a copy of the house deed." "Any joint assets?" "Just the car." "And the daughter?" He didn't laugh. I stayed polite at home. We still had dinner. Still exchanged comments about the news. Still pretended the air between us wasn't poisoned. She started sleeping in Eliza's old room. Said she needed clarity. I started recording. Voice memos. Phone calls. Even the bathroom mirror once angled just enough to catch her reflection during one of her late-night whispered phone chats. She never said his name. Only baby and not yet and soon. The climax came with a message I wasn't supposed to see. She left her laptop open. Chrome auto-synced again. A shared document. A budget planner. Title, Transition Phase. Underlined. Her notes. Find place. Therapy for Eliza. Talk to Mark when stable. Make him understand. I copied the doc. Saved it next to the rest. Every line now had its own folder. Then I made my move. Step 1, DNA test. Not for Eliza. For peace of mind. I didn't expect a surprise. Still, I mailed it. Quietly. Saliva sample. Overnight. Results came back, 998% mine. I felt relief. Not joy. Just a door closing softly behind me. Step 2, conversation. With Eliza. She came home for a weekend. Said she missed her room. Missed how things used to be. I asked her, "You talk to Mom often?" She said she told me not to get involved. I showed her the evidence. Not all of it. Just enough. She cried. Then said the worst possible thing. "She still loves you, Dad." I nodded. Maybe. But love isn't loyalty. She didn't reply. Just looked away. I realized she wasn't on my side. She wasn't on anyone's. She just wanted the mess to stop. Step 3, the drop. Friday night. Jessica texted she'd be home late. I texted back. Cool. Let's meet at the Bridge Cafe. 9 p.m. Need to talk. She agreed. Said, are you okay? I replied. Never better. I got there early. Had the waiter set up the back booth. Quiet, private, good view. Brought a tablet. 2 envelopes. She walked in at 9:04. Wearing lipstick I hadn't seen in years. Smile rehearsed. Eyes wary. I didn't speak. Just slid the tablet over. Pressed play. 5 minutes of video. Her voice. Her face. Her hands stroking someone's arm. Her whispering, I miss your smell. She didn't deny it. Didn't even flinch. Just said, you weren't supposed to see that. I handed her the first envelope. Divorce papers. Pre-signed. Asset split mapped. She keeps the car. I keep the house. She stared. Mark, I handed her the second envelope. A breakdown of every expense she'd charged to our joint card over the last 2 years that directly involved him. Hotels. Wine. Gifts. Therapy sessions that didn't exist. Totaled $7,844.16. I said I expect it back. She whispered, you don't understand. I do, I said. Finally. Then came the final play. I emailed the documents to her boss. To the licensing board. Didn't accuse. Just attach the proof. Let them decide whether a therapist sleeping with someone she might have counseled was professional conduct. She moved out a week later. No tears. No yelling. Just bags, silence, and the look of someone who finally understood what consequences feel like. Eliza didn't say goodbye. Just sent me a text. I don't know what to say. I replied. You don't have to. The day she left, it didn't rain. No cinematic weather. Just clouds thick like dust. Stagnant. The kind of gray that doesn't move. She didn't cry. Didn't argue. Didn't ask for a final embrace. She walked out with the same face she used when buying groceries. Bored. Distracted. Rehearsed. I didn't follow. I didn't ask where she was going. I already knew. I waited 10 full minutes after the sound of her tires faded. Then sat down on the floor of the hallway. I didn't move. Just breathed. Felt the emptiness wrap around the ribs and settle there. It was over. Not in a way people announce. Not with ceremony or final words. It just ended. And I was alone. The silence was aggressive at first. Not peaceful, not serene. Loud. Like static in my head. I began clearing the house as if purging ghosts. The bedroom came first. The bed we shared for 22 years. Stripped it down. Washed every layer. Burned the pillowcases. Gave the mattress away. Replaced it with a single bed. Smaller. Mine. No compromise in the middle. The closet was next. Half empty. Her dresses still hung like accusations. I didn't touch them for a week. Then one morning I opened a garbage bag and filled it. Didn't check sizes. Didn't smell anything. Just pulled and dumped. Her notes in the kitchen. Little reminders she left on the fridge. Buy oat milk. Don't forget your appointment. All gone. She was still reminding me of things even after leaving. I didn't need reminders anymore. I needed silence. I spent weeks in rituals. Cooking for one. Walking the dog 3 times a day. Sitting outside at dusk with a glass of water. Pretending it was wine. Rook, the lab I adopted, followed me like a bodyguard. He didn't bark unless necessary. Didn't demand. He just watched me. Like he was learning how to be a person again too. Jessica emailed. Again. Subject. Still hoping. Body. I know you won't answer, but I wanted to say it again. I'm sorry. Eliza is hurting. I'm hurting. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I didn't mean to destroy everything. No attachment this time. No photos. Just words. I didn't reply. Because it's not about meaning. It's about choice. She chose to lie. She chose to leave. She chose him. She doesn't get to choose my forgiveness too. Eliza called. First time in 4 months. Hey, Dad. I said, hi. She cried. Said she didn't understand. Said Jessica made it sound like it just happened. I didn't raise my voice. I said, she planned it. Then I told her everything. Not to punish. Just to stop the lie from spreading further. She was silent for a long time. Then she whispered, "I didn't know. Now you do." She asked if she could visit. I said yes. But I didn't wait. I didn't expect. She came a week later. We ate pasta in silence. Rook sat between us. She smiled at him. He wagged his tail. She asked if I hated her. I said never, but I won't forget what you said. She nodded, bit her lip. Then she took the trash out without being asked. I started volunteering at a shelter. Dogs, cats, people who didn't ask where I came from. One of the staff there, Mary, told me once, "You look like someone who lost a war." I said I didn't lose. I just stopped fighting. She smiled. Said that's still a kind of winning. Jessica never came back. I never asked her to. She lives with him now. Probably. They're kind of people always find new furniture and scented candles and call it healing. Let them. I don't stalk her. Don't follow their socials. Don't ask Eliza for updates. They chose each other. And I chose distance. 1 year later, to the day I moved. Not far. Just enough. A smaller house. 1 story. Quiet street. I bought real curtains. Built a bookshelf from scratch. Hung my own art. Things that spoke to me. Not us. Rook has his spot by the window. He barks at squirrels. That's about it. I learned how to make good coffee. Stopped using sugar. Started eating earlier. Sleeping deeper. Sometimes I laugh. Not at jokes. Just at life. At the absurdity of how much I once tolerated. Last night, Eliza texted, "I get it now, Dad. I really do. I'm proud of you. I love you." I stared at the screen. Smiled. Didn't reply right away. Didn't need to. Eventually, I wrote, "I love you too. Thank you for coming back." Somewhere in the garage, there's still a box labeled Jessica. Kitchen crap she never used. Maybe I'll throw it out someday. Maybe I won't. But it doesn't bother me anymore. It's just a box. Not a wound. Not a warning. Just a piece of a past I survived. I wake up now to silence. But it's a different kind of silence. Not absence. Presence. My own.